So one thing I'm hearing a lot is that everybody's not this techie. You don't want to create all these buttons and stuff, and you don't have to do all of that to use Canvas. If you've ever taken an online college class and used Canvas or Blackboard, and you just had it set up with like basic modules, it wasn't colored, just real formal looking, you can do that way easier. I just like to put all of the different graphics and all because I teach elementary school, and it's more kid friendly and cutesy. But last year I didn't do near as much of that. So let me show you some of my stuff from last year so that those of you who don't want to go through all that and just want the simplest setup, um, so that you can see that. So this right here is my class from last year. And at first I was using it in the classroom. So here's the unit modules from that. And I had science, math, everything just jammed into the same one because at that time Canvas wouldn't sync with our online gradebook platform. We were using STI. But this year we're switching to a platform called Power Schools. So this year I'll make sure to keep all of my classes separate. I think it'll also sync with SAMS possibly. So it's probably best to set up your courses and your sections separately, or some school districts may set those up for you. But if they're going to set them up for you, you can go ahead and create a course and get started in it and add everything just like you want it to be. And then when they create the sections they want you to use, you can just duplicate it or copy it and move it over there easily. I'll do a different video on that. So also, if you can hear my dog panting in the background, I'm so sorry. I cannot get him to calm down. Alright, so once we went virtual, you can see it says all this virtual stuff up here. And these little dots on the side allow you to rearrange. So I kept the newest stuff for online school at the top so that students wouldn't have to scroll down. So, we were doing a read aloud in class. I found an online link to it. I just stuck it here. You can see there's not any cute badges or buttons, banners, nothing. Just very basic. So if you want yours to look more like this, then on your home page, when you click choose home page, you're going to want to click course modules and hit save. And then every time you create a module, it'll show up on your home page. You also can still go into your settings over here and hide as many of these different things as possible to limit your students' access. So let me show you the student view. Last year my kids could see this. They could see all of the different modules that I had published. So you notice on my page it was like, I don't know, 20, 25. These are the only ones I still had published. So you can publish and unpublish just by clicking a little button. I'll show you in a minute. So here is the options I let them see. All right, let's go back to the teacher view. If you want to go ahead and put everything in for the whole year, go for it. And then if you don't want students to see it, you just, right here, you see it's got like a circle with a line, and then this one has a check. The check tells me it's published. So if I click on it, it's going to unpublish it, and that would take it off of the student view. They wouldn't be able to see it. So if students get in and they're like, my stuff's not showing up, it's probably because on your end you forgot to publish it. So you'll just need to go through and click and turn the stuff you need them to see green. Alright, so to make a module, you just add the plus module button, you name it whatever you want it to be, and then once it's there, like here's one I had for parent info. I put a link to a Google Doc in there, and I updated it constantly, kind of like a newsletter during virtual school. And then I also gave them a link to my lesson plans so they knew what I was teaching their kids. I had stuff that our counselor and our exploration teachers, which is like rotation, sent here. You just click the plus sign to add new stuff. So here was all of my lessons for each day. I just put the date and the day of the week on there so students could find it easily. And so let's create a fake one for today. So you hit plus, and you can change it from an assignment to a quiz to a file to a page, a discussion. If it's something you're going to want students to turn into you, hit assignment. I even put quizzes on here through assignments. I don't use the quiz thing. So click assignment, click new, and name it whatever you want. So if I was going to say I was going to add a folder or a module, not a module, an assignment for back to school, and I want them to do it on the first day. Let's name it that. When it puts itself in the module, it's going to be down here at the bottom. Now, you can leave it there, or if you want the newest stuff to show up first, you can drag it, which is what I like to do, just because my kids are really bad at finding things. And again, you're going to need to check mark it so that they can see it. All right, so it's there. Now, when I click on that, I'm going to hit edit, and I'm going to type in whatever I want them to do in this box. This would be like if you were used to using Google Classroom, this is where you would have put all of your normal stuff. So you can type your directions in here. You can type in what you want to, what they need to submit. If it's going to be a Google Doc, I'm horrible at spelling. If it's going to be a Google Doc, I might type something like, click here to get your assignment, and then you can highlight that. You can press link to URL, and you can copy and paste your link. So I'm just going to use this one. Make sure you have your permissions set the way you want them. Insert it. Now when students go there, if that was their assignment, they would just click there to get it. So I might put use the link below to make a copy of our assignment for today. Then answer the questions and turn it in to be graded. All right. And then they're just going to click on that for their assignment. You can also put pictures here if you have an example you want to insert or whatever. All right, so this down here, you do actually need to go through this. So if you can leave this completely blank if you want, where it says assign. But if you have a day you want them to be done with it by, you need to set a due date, and then it won't let them turn it in after. Or it'll let them turn it in, but it'll notify you it's late in case you want to take off points. So let's say this is due on Monday, and it's due by you can set a time if you want. So let's say it's due by 3 p.m. by the time they leave school on Monday. All right, but I want them to be able to work on it. Let's say I put it on here last Monday, all the way from then and until if I want it to cut off and no more submissions after Monday, I'll click Monday. If I want to let them submit it late, but I'm going to take points off, maybe I give them a few more days. All right, so now they can see that for this amount of time. This, leave it unchecked. This, I've never used. You can use the collaborations tool and let multiple people work on the same assignment. I would leave this unchecked. All right, this part's important. It's how you want them to turn it in. Do you want them to turn it in online? Is it a paper they're going to have in class that they're going to turn in to you in person? Or is it something else they need to do, like an external tool that you've added on here? Even if it's a website, I'm still going to leave it either as no submission or online. I don't care for most of the external tools because they glitch. But let's say for this, it's a Google Doc and I want them to turn it in. I'm going to click online. And you can pick how you want them to do it. They type it in. If it's like a short answer question and there's no Google Doc, you just have questions typed here and you want them to type your answers, click text, and it'll give them a box just like this to answer their questions in. If you want them to turn in a website URL to you, like maybe they're going to send a link to a Google Doc, or they're going to send in a link to some kind of site that they've made, click there. If they made a video or a photo, click there. If they're going to upload a file, this can be from their Google Drive or from their computer, click that. I'm going to click that. I don't like to restrict types because I want to be able to turn it in however they saved it. If it's a project maybe and you're going to let them do it however they want, you can select all of these and they can turn it in whichever format. Now, up here, you choose if you want it to be graded or not. You can make different groups. You could, like if you have minor grades and major grades, you can put 2 different groups and you can assign weight values to those. We'll get into that later. And pick that there. You can decide if you want to grade it as a point, as percentages, complete, incomplete, just a grade. If you're not going to grade it, I'm going to grade it based on points, and it's going to be out of 100 points. And then I'm going to hit save. Alright, so this again is the teacher view, not the student view. This isn't how it looks for them. I'll show you in a separate video how it looks for students. Alright, so again, back to my home page on the more simple format. I've got all of my modules here. I didn't have to create all the buttons for them. You still add assignments even if you're doing the buttons the same way, but this is a less techy version of how to set up your Canvas course.